right, welcome to another episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we take a look at a new movie and try to figure out what movies inspired it. And today on the show, it is our live recording from Art House Theaters in downtown Las Vegas on Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. After all these years since Grindhouse back in 2009, the fake trailer is finally a real movie, and we had a really fun time at this screening and talking about it. Joining me are Jason Harris, Michael Keene, and Jimmie Gonzalez. All have been guests on the show before. Really happy to have them all back, and we get into a lot of great pieces here on this one. Lots of spoilers, too, so keep that in mind. But, yeah, with a slasher, you kind of have to get into the spoilers, because, I mean, who did it? Who done it? You know, you gotta talk about that too. So lots to talk about in this one, but that will be coming up in a second. Before we get to it, I do want to remind you, as always, to make sure you are subscribed to Piecing It Together wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow us on social media at Piecing Pod and join our Facebook group, Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces, where we continue the conversation about all the movies we talk about here on the show. And with that said, I just want to give one more thanks to Art House Theaters for having us out, and thanks to everyone who is there in the audience. And let's get to our conversation about Thanksgiving. All right, well, thank you everybody for sticking around. We are, of course, about to talk about the movie we just watched, but I am David Rosen. I'm the host of the Piecing It Together podcast, and what we do is we talk about a movie through the lens of what other movies might have inspired it. So we're obviously going to get into a lot of slasher movies tonight, but also maybe some other stuff from all over the place. But before we get into Thanksgiving, I do want to introduce my guests, starting right here with Jason Harris from Awesome Movie Year. He's a comedian. He's a filmmaker. Jason, say hi to everybody.
Hello.
Jason, you're going to have to give him a little more.
Hello. Let's go. Let's do. The mics are only on here, so.
Yeah, that's right. You got to enunciate,
boisterous.
Yes, boisterous. And I know you can do it. So, yeah, absolutely. Jimmie Gonzalez right next to him, also a filmmaker, a DJ, does events over at Nightmare Cafe. Jimmie,
yes,
welcome.
Hey, glad to be back. Thanks.
Yes, absolutely. We had you on the Evil Dead one, which was a lot of fun. That was actually our 300th episode of this podcast.
Oh, nice. Well, that was nice to be a part of that. And nice to be a part of this. Thank you.
Absolutely. And then over there, we've got Michael Keene, filmmaker, YouTuber, been on these live shows more than just about anybody.
I don't know how the fuck that happened.
I don't know. It just keeps happening, but we'll see. I'm sure we'll get you back again, right?
Maybe.
We'll see.
I don't know. I walk home from here, so I could die tonight. Who knows?
You could even if you don't walk home from here.
That's true.
Yeah.
Any of us could die at any moment. And
most deaths happen in
we should be
movie
thinking
theaters.
about that at all times.
Yeah.
It is a rough neighborhood.
Hi.
Yeah.
I make movies.
Yes, you do. So, we're going to get into Thanksgiving now, and usually when we do these live shows, I like to just kind of, we call them puzzle pieces, the movies or TV shows or any kind of media, really, that we think might have influenced what we just watched. And I like to throw one out right away, just for anybody who's in the audience here that has never listened to the podcast before. So we decided ahead of time that Machete would be our first puzzle piece, because to take one of these fake trailers from 2009's Grindhouse and, feel like it could actually turn into something that would be worthwhile to see in a movie theater. Now, this movie definitely took a different approach than Robert Rodriguez did with Machete. It kind of updated it, didn't try to continue to capture the vibe of the exploitation, the 70s or early 80s kind of feel of what they were trying to do with Machete and what they were trying to do with the Thanksgiving trailer. But I think based on the reaction we all kind of had, to good effect, though. So are you a fan of those movies, the Machete movies, Jason?
I mean, I like Grindhouse movies from the 70s, Machete. I like the two of was Planet Terror and was the better of the two than Grindhouse, I thought.
Certainly the more fun. Yeah.
So, I'm going to just say it. It was not a great Tarantino outing from that one.
Oh, you're breaking my heart.
Well, that's okay. So, but this definitely had more of that 90s teenage slasher feel, right? Early 2000s. So, and it was pretty effective.
Yeah, absolutely. Jimmie, what about you?
Yeah, actually, I mean, honestly, I heard an interview with Eli Roth, and he mentioned that they were, kind of updating it a bit, and my heart broke a little bit because I was hoping they would go the old school Grindhouse feel, but I know that was a smart decision to do with today's, the viewers of today and stuff, because Grindhouse was kind of a flop, and they did try to bring that back, but that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I did hear that, because I came in with the mindset of it was going to be something more updated, and since I came in with that mindset, I enjoyed it a lot more. But if I was expecting the gritty Grindhouse vibe, and since I didn't get that, it's okay. But I enjoyed what he put up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And also, speaking of flopping, I mean, Machete didn't exactly blow down the box office either. So, even though it's a cool idea for cinephiles like us, like it's not exactly going to translate to, big box office. But Michael Keene, you are a fan of Death Proof over there, I guess.
Oh, yeah, Death Proof fucking slaps.
Yeah. I liked it more the second time, honestly. I think maybe it'll eventually just keep growing on me.
I do think it was probably the wrong film to start the double bill. I think it probably should have ended on Planet Terror.
Yeah.
Although, I remember being in theaters for that. Not a lot of people in the theater, but a lot of people didn't see Death Proof when Grindhouse came out.
Yeah, after the trailers, actually before the trailers, they all left, right? It was like, no, stay.
Everybody started leaving as soon as Planet Terror was over.
Yeah.
And a lot of them didn't come back.
There were 2 machetes, right?
There were. They actually managed to do a second.
And both were terrible.
Machete kills.
So now there's 3 movies that are owed to the trailer, which makes it the trailer section more successful than the
basically.
The 2 films
and if you count Hobo with a Shotgun, which that was they
screened that in the Canadian screenings.
Yeah, and I think it was part of a contest, right? Like it wasn't one of the main trailers, but
they did a whole. It was crazy because they had like all these trailers from all over the place being submitted, and there were different ones in Canada. I want to say that Hobo with a Shotgun was Canada,
right?
And
Jason
then
Eisner.
On YouTube, back when YouTube sucked less, there was this whole just like army of Grindhouse trailers, and there was one. I'm gonna get it wrong but it was like SS Troopers of the Apocalypse or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was so fucking sick.
Yeah,
and I think 2 or 3 of them also screened with Hobo with a Shotgun in a limited.
I believe it was like an Alamo Draft House did some kind of a contest or something. That's what I heard.
Right.
Yeah.
So
there was several, and I guess the Hobo with a Shotgun is the one that's kind of won the best, And then it won its place to be in the Grindhouse trailers.
Right.
They're
right.
in the,
Well,
Canadian.
I want to dig into Thanksgiving, but before we do, just one other question, and then we'll get there. As far as the other trailers that were part of the whole Grindhouse experience, Don't, of course, was hilarious. And then what was it? Werewolf Women of the SS.
That was Rob Zombie's.
Yeah. Do you think either of those could work like this?
I would like to see it because I love Rob Zombie, and I would watch anything he puts out. But honestly, that one didn't grab me as much. But if they would give him the chance, I'd be there. Check it out.
Don't was Edgar Wright.
Don't was Edgar Wright. Yeah.
So he made Baby Driver, and that had less dialogue than Don't did. So I think he could probably pull off Don't.
I think Don't was the funniest one of the bunch too.
Well, I think Don't. The thing with Don't is it's the worst one as far as being able to carry a movie, because it's not really a movie.
It's a gag.
It's one very, very fucking good gag.
Yeah.
Joke,
and it's one of the best of the trailers. But I would say it would be like slapping the word "don't" on any movie that's aping those films.
Sure.
But this is the one we were all waiting for. Right?
Yeah.
This is the one.
This is the one with the clearest concept.
Yeah. And Eli Roth, he waited for the right moment. I don't know if this was the right moment, but I think it could have been he was a few years late. But this is the one everyone's been bugging him about. So
whenever I watch something like this, I'm always shocked that we're seeing it in the theater now. It feels like, hey, it's Thanksgiving weekend. We're dropping it on Netflix or Apple TV.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I'm so glad I got
90 minutes long. That's a nice sweet spot.
Yeah.
Don't get too often anymore.
I know.
Yeah, perfectly structured too. Oh my God,
nice and smooth. Goes kill to kill.
I think that it's genius. He said it. It's like there was never anything between Halloween and Christmas, and from now on, what good or bad this film, it's always going to be played and talked about and probably sequelized to death. I think it's not going to go away.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let's start getting into some puzzle pieces. Jason, what do you got first?
Well, I think I have other pieces that I was going to start with, but I'm going to go off of Jimmie because you have to credit other Thanksgiving movies that might be few and far between. But like, we just did Planes, Trains, and Automobiles on Awesome Movie Year, which is, I guess, what you would say like is a Thanksgiving classic. Now you watch it every year.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, Home for the Holidays, the Holly Hunter movie, that's a great movie. So there are a few of those kind of Thanksgiving. I think Grumpy Old Men, Ice Storm. So you got to like kind of lean into that holiday there. So this will join that canon, but I'm going to take those Thanksgiving movies, including Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. We can all eat jelly beans for dinner tonight or whatnot.
Yeah. Throw Krisha in there for a nice heavy one too. So yeah. Absolutely.
The title is totally evading me right now. It was originally called Slasher, with the twins. Someone's screaming out. What's the Thanksgiving film? Blood Rage. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Blood Rage is like, it was the Thanksgiving movie, and it still is. I watch it every Thanksgiving. It's due to come. I'm going to be watching it soon. But Blood Rage is the one that they kind of deemed the Thanksgiving movie. But I think Eli Roth, like I said, good or bad, took that over. So it's a good double bill. Are you familiar with Blood Rage?
I'm not. That's interesting.
rules.
I'd love to see it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Blood Rage is
I think that might still be my favorite Thanksgiving horror movie.
that like I said, that's the one that's it was creeping up, and it was starting to become that cult Thanksgiving film, and it still is. I mean, Joe Bob featured it on the drive-in, and
Oh, nice.
and it's got the Arrow release and the whole deal. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely check it out.
Does anyone else have a Thanksgiving movie that we could watch, like Dutch? Yeah.
Dutch.
Yeah.
Krista or Christy?
No,
Christy.
that's the one.
Did you mention Christy?
I mentioned
no, that's
Krisha.
There's another one called Christy,
Okay.
which is a female protagonist. She's in a college dorm, and there's someone who's killing. It was during Thanksgiving. Everyone leaves the dorm for Thanksgiving weekend, college, and she's alone on this campus. And there's this killer who's killing everybody, who are like called Christies, who are kind of like the cheerleader type. So it's that was a really good slasher. Check that one
Okay.
out. Yeah.
Nice. So those sound
So
great.
there's some out there.
Yeah.
But like I said, with Thanksgiving and the title, I mean that's it. It's
Yeah.
number one, whether it's good or bad.
Just take over. Just
Yeah.
go right on in there. But Michael, what do you got for your first one?
Well, so this is one of those movies where I was really excited throughout trying to figure out who was the killer. And I called the sheriff fairly early on, but then it still kept like throwing these, like I thought for a while that, the black football player.
Scuba.
Yes.
I thought Scuba might be like the son of the security guard or something.
I thought the security guard too.
Yeah, and then it was only when Scuba was like fully out where I was like, okay. But he could also like have a kid or something. Like there could be fucking something else. Because they're just constantly throwing those down. Anyway, I love Killer Cops is the point of that diatribe. And so I'm going with Psycho Cop Returns because that cop also had a sense of humor. And it was kind of arbitrary. Again, it's the like 90s slashers, but I'm going to go Psycho Cop Returns.
Yeah, every single 90s slasher, like keeping you guessing is like the whole fucking point, basically. Yeah. It's like it could be anyone at any time, and it just keeps changing, and they keep throwing little red herrings out there. And so, but yeah, this guy did have a good sense of humor, lots of little one-liners and quips and stuff, which is so ridiculous, but it's exactly kind of what you want going into this thing. So, yeah, fun stuff. I've never seen Psycho Cop Returns. It's a good one.
It's so fucking funny. It's just this cop killing these people in an office building who are like throwing a party off hours, I think.
Fantastic.
And it's very silly.
Yeah.
And has like some crazy shit going. It's oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Goosh.
Well, I'll go for my first one. I'm going with combination, really, of the original My Bloody Valentine and the 3D remake from, what was it, 2006? I don't know, somewhere in there. But basically, obviously, you take the original, you're going with something that's holiday-based and, introducing a slasher into a holiday party situation. Also, you got axes, so, you got that too. But then with this remake, you're kind of just getting, like, the broad strokes of, like, what made that movie what it was, and just saying, like, okay, well, we got a couple of little elements to throw on the poster. Otherwise, it's just a slasher. Like, and it seems like in turning this from that whole exploitation thing from the trailer into more of like a late 90s, early 2000s kind of slasher movie, it's almost like Eli Roth like remaking his own thing, like a later on version of that thing. And so you're kind of getting both, the best of both worlds kind of in
Right.
the original and the sequel remake thing. So, yeah, and I think that movie's fun, the 3D remake. I mean, I know it didn't get good reviews at the time, but I always thought it was pretty good.
Oh, it was fucking rad. I remember
Yeah.
I was like practically applauding in the theater.
Yeah.
I was in my happy place.
Nice. Hell
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was thinking of My Bloody Valentine, but then I instantly jumped to the remake because it seemed like the way they, in My Bloody Valentine, they kind of like did the same gags and then like they kind of rushed through them, and I feel like this was the same thing. It's like a lot of these gags, Eli Roth kind of like he didn't have any patience. I didn't think there was enough tension or like with the trampoline thing. Like they just rushed through that scene, and I know that was a throwback to the trailer. And I'm just surprised that they didn't take their time a little bit more like that. But I'm like, I think that today's younger viewers and stuff, kind of like impatient and want to get right to it. But I was just surprised that they rushed through that scene so quick. But that's not necessarily peace. It's more of a critique. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. And yeah, I wonder if like he had trouble doing some of the stuff he wanted to do. Like if just, an R-rated movie can't quite get away with some of that stuff right now. Like, I don't know, because I mean, obviously they did it in a much, less graphic way, and like, other moments from the fake trailer
I'm so
weren't as
mad
bad
that
either.
McDreamy didn't fuck a turkey
Yeah.
with Eli Roth's head on it.
Yeah. I
Right,
mean,
right.
where was that scene?
This was almost a 5-star movie. Almost, but no fucking a turkey with Eli Roth's head.
Yeah.
4 stars.
Yeah, they definitely pulled back, but it makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Jason, what do you got next?
So I'm going to stick with holiday stuff right now. And I mean, obviously, Halloween has to be the holiday of choice for slasher and horror movies. We covered Trick or Treat on Awesome Movie Year, and that has a lot of things that you can see here where they're trying to track the killer here at the parade, and there they're trying to track him while everyone's out at night in different costumes. There are some definitely gnarly kills in there, and there's like a whole kind of lore around the stories there. So I felt like the lore there, and then this is Plymouth, Massachusetts, and the lore of Hocus Pocus in Salem, Massachusetts got me my Halloween mashup to get here with Thanksgiving.
There is a lot of lore here in this movie.
Yeah.
Like it almost doesn't need it, but it's in there, and I think it's better off for it. I think it's gives you something to chew on, more than just some gnarly kills and a couple of jokes. And like they really pack it in there. And Trick or Treat's a great example of that.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Trick or Treat fans over there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Trick or Treat was rad.
I heard they're doing another one too, and look, that sounds exciting.
Yeah. What was that? 2007, Jason?
Yeah,
So
2007.
it's been a while since we got that, but yeah, for sure.
And that took like forever to come out too.
Yeah, it did. Jimmy, what do you got next?
Well, we can go on and on about slashers, but I mean, let's talk about what inspired the slashers, which the Italian Giallo films. And to see the Black Gloves, I was all about it. And the Masked Killer, and then of course the Whodunit, the whole all the tropes all come alive in this film, and I really enjoyed that. Yeah, no J&B, but I always love to see a masked black gloved killer.
Yeah,
and I know Eli is a big fan of those, and he definitely brought that love into this film.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would say as a little bit of a criticism here, we talked about this on the last live show that we did, Michael, but the look of the whole thing, is kind of one of, I think, the bad points here.
Oh, I disagree. Actually.
Really? You
Yeah,
thought it
I
looked
actually.
good?
Well, I think the image was a little dim, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk shit about her.
But no, but you're right. Though. There's definitely some dark spots where you're like, what is this guy looking for?
Yeah, but I think if that was projected at the correct luminosity, then it's pretty good. Like composition-wise, pretty good. There's a few lame duck shots in there, but it's very well shot and very well put together. Like each scene, I thought was really expertly directed because it was just it was constantly setting up, paying off, creating conflict.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And it never really stops. I do wish the trampoline scene took a little bit longer. I am glad. I think it's smart that they cut out her just like just diving on it.
Yeah, we expected that, so it's good they
Yeah,
didn't
so
do
that was
it.
a nice when her foot gets sliced up. That's actually
Yeah.
it's almost worse just because you see.
And you're not expecting it either.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But despite that, I don't think it felt rushed so much as it was just it left me wanting more at times. But I think that was just trying to be economical because it goes by at a very rapid pace.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Without, I think, feeling too fast. Like I think, is it the best slasher I've ever seen? No, absolutely not. But if you were to like try to teach a class on writing and directing, like just a solid chunk of slasher,
Yeah.
Then don't
that's
show this.
a great example.
Yeah. Plus, that class would be teaching you to make 90-minute movies, which would be
Yeah, baby. You know what? Let's 79 minutes. Perfect running time for any movie.
You're absolutely right. You're right. Michael, what do you got for your next piece?
This is a stretch, as are all of my puzzle pieces every time. But Tombs of the Blind Dead. So one of those great nihilistic Spanish horror movies. Doesn't fuck around. And one scene that I always forgot was in the movie because I always just thought about the actual like tombs portion. But there's this whole bit where they go back into the city or town or whatever, and there's this one location that's full of fucking mannequins that gets burned down. And I was like constantly on edge that there was going to be like a fire thing. Not on edge, I wasn't freaking out, but there was going to be a fire scene at the in the like beauty whatever the classroom where they had the fucking mannequin heads.
Right.
Yeah.
I could have plugged my own movie there. God, I'm such a fucking idiot. But anyway, and there's a few giallo. I guess I should have done a giallo like what's the Mario Bava in the Fashion House?
Blood and Black Lace.
Yeah, Blood and Black Lace. I'm gonna do two: Blood and
Yeah,
Black
throw
Lace
it in there.
and
Yeah,
Tombs
yeah.
of the Blind Dead. Get an education, kids.
This is a great list. Honestly, so many things that I haven't
too many,
seen
too
that
many.
like I'm just so excited to watch some of these things because they just sound awesome. Like, yeah, you guys are bringing real good shit here.
Oh, you ever seen Tombs of the Blind Dead?
No. I have
Oh,
not.
you're gonna have a bad time. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I will go with South Park as a puzzle piece. So first of all, in the beginning, really it's two sequences. In the beginning, all the crowd like trying to bash their way in, which I guess you could also go Dawn of the Dead. But just the whole crowd going, "Rah, rah, 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 rah," and all just being awful to each other. That's a constant refrain on South Park. But then also Scott Tenorman, with Eric Cartman trying to feed his dad, to him. That's kind of the killer's ultimate plan here is to feed the wife. So
Oh yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've seen that one before though.
yeah, that's a
Scott
classic.
Tenorman.
Oh, that's a
That's a
classic.
classic one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the ultimate Cartman evil episode.
My sons probably saw those.
Jason, you got another one?
Yeah, I got more. I'll build on what you're saying there on a few of those there. By the way, for some reason on my notes, Dave, whatever you just said, voice recorded.
Oh, nice. That's good.
unfortunate. So let's not do
Finally
that.
have captions for this podcast.
Yeah,
That's
no, I
good.
took notes there. I apologize to anyone who's behind me. But so the beginning, the sequence. So Dave and I on his podcast, piecing it together, the first of every month we drop an episode where we cover trailers of movies that are coming up, right? And one of the trailers that we covered was a movie called Black Friday
Yeah.
with
All
Bruce
right.
Campbell. And that's one of these mega stores open on a Black Friday, and I think it was like a monster or an alien invasion. It didn't execute well, but the idea is like the hysteria of a Black Friday,
Yeah.
which that was right there.
Which is a perfect setup for a horror movie.
Right, it's
It really is.
great, and you could even do that as a one location thing, which they tried to do and didn't do too well. What you're talking about, where they're feeding other people, and there's a man in the mask. That was original Chainsaw Massacre.
Of
to
course.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a great horror movie and a not great horror movie are my next two there.
Yeah. There you go.
Well,
Those-
another thing was Krampus, the opening of Krampus. This pretty much gave us the extended example of that whole opening. It was just the opening credits of Krampus, right?
Right,
With the
right.
whole stomping on the shopping frenzy and stuff.
yeah. No,
But-
absolutely.
But that wasn't a piece. As far as my piece, I was thinking was A Christmas Story, believe it or not.
I have it on
As far as getting more deep into the filmmaking part, it was the cinematography. I think I think the lighting and the feel, it felt so warm and like cozy, like the whole, Thanksgiving and Christmas, the holiday times. So the dinner table scene, I mean, it really felt like the lighting of like Bob Clark, the way he lit Christmas Story.
So I had it on my list for a completely different reason.
Okay.
The kill of the waitress, where she is frozen to the door, reminded me of the
yes.
tongue to the
Yes.
pole right
The
there.
tongue to the pole.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
What
Right.
a wonderful kill too, with
Yeah.
like putting her face in the water first. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, you like when they take their time and there's like a couple of little beats
Yeah.
to it. You know?
It's also an early indication of his sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like he kind of eases you into the comedy aspect. So by the time he does talk, it's surprising because he hasn't talked yet, but it's not really like, it's not weird.
I was trying to think. I couldn't place it. It might have been Dolomite, but I think it was a blaxploitation film where there's a whole sequence of kills in a kitchen, and like a dude gets his head into an air fryer, or not an air fryer, but just a fryer and
A fry,
whatnot.
yeah.
And I couldn't remember
Oh,
what
yeah.
it was, but
That
there
does
was a
sound
lot
familiar.
of great kills in whatever movie is escaping me right now.
Yeah.
That whole massacre scene kind of reminded me also of the Jason, was it Jason Goes to Hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the diner, yeah.
The diner kills, yeah.
Yeah. I love that one. That was great. But Michael, what do you got next? You got one more for us?
I'm going to go super basic bitch time, and I'm going to say one of the great underrated, heavily giallo-influenced 90s slashers, and probably the one I'd go to first if I was just looking at 90s slashers for this one, Valentine, which is fucking so good, and people
the
should
mask
watch
was
it.
similar, yeah.
Yeah, it has the similar. That's a Cupid mask.
Right.
Yeah, Cupid mask. In Valentine, which also just kind of a, weird human face thing mask.
Right.
And similar black gloves, and that's again, I think that'd probably be like one as far as American '90s slashers.
Yeah.
That's probably the one that most executes the giallo aesthetic.
I haven't seen that one in a while.
I had two 90s ones, but even more basic than that. I mean, Scream because of the mask
Yeah.
killer, and then I Know What You Did Last Summer because we're doing a year later. And the
You're right.
revenge
Oh yeah, a
aspect
year
of
later.
it.
That's good.
You
Yeah.
just took my last puzzle piece. So,
fuck him up.
yeah. But, since you took that one, I was going to do I Know What You Did Last Summer because, yeah, I mean, that's perfect. I was surprised it hadn't been said yet. I'll also go with the House of Wax remake. The reason why I was thinking about that one is because, and I liked these young actors in this. I thought they were good. Like, one thing I really don't like about the recent Scream movies is like all the young actors. I just don't like.
No love for Jenna Ortega, though.
She's fine in other things. I just don't really like her
Are
in that
you
movie.
made of stone?
Yeah. But I really like these actors, but they play these characters who you're just like, hell yeah, just kill them. Like, kill all these people, And that was like the vibe I got from House of Wax. I was just like, just do
Very
it.
unlikable.
I
You
don't
can't
think-
wait to see him die.
Right. I don't think anyone was upset when Evan got his head bashed in.
No,
with the
not
hammer.
one bit.
That's also another great example of how well this works as a slasher movie, because sometimes it can feel too much like you just want everybody to die, and sometimes it can feel like, it's like someone's on the extra mile to make sure every single character you're just like, fuck no. And in this instance, it's a very nice hearty mix.
Yeah.
And it even like denies you some kills, like you'd expect the dad to get murdered.
Sure.
And he's, fine. He just gets his moment of humiliation.
Yeah.
And you have Evan, who everybody from the very beginning was like, crush that bitch's head.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we got through a lot of really good stuff here, I feel like, but I'd love to open the floor. If anybody has any puzzle pieces, we'd love to hear from you. Does anybody have it? We see right up here.
Last year's Violent Night.
Violent
Right,
Night.
yeah.
Yeah. As far as like fun holiday themed horror movies, and I feel like that and maybe this to a degree are capitalizing a little bit on right now all of the kind of like these monster horror things that are like Winnie the Pooh or any of that
Right,
stuff
yeah.
where it's like take a property and make it violent and make a horror movie out of it. That one seems like it fit right in, and I feel like this is. We waited 16 years for this movie. I feel like maybe in a way this is why it's the time to finally do it.
I don't think anyone waited 16 years
Well,
for it.
yeah.
This movie came out,
Disagree.
I kind of did.
yeah, you've been holding on
Yeah,
your
I
breath
really
for
have.
16 years.
Where is it?
We all wanted it,
I
Jason.
bought the shirt before.
Yeah,
I
look
even
at
seen the
did.
this.
movie.
Look at this. I love it. I love it.
Machete came out. I was like, so you're saying there's a chance? Yeah, Machete 2, and I'm like, so
What are we doing?
Anybody else have any puzzle pieces for us? Right up there.
Yeah, I don't think it has really anything in common with it at all, and I can't do that with Hank, but Thanksgiving. It's a creature.
Oh, yeah,
It is
Thanksgiving.
a Thanksgiving.
Right.
meal.
Yeah, it has a puppet turkey.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen that.
The opening line is "Nice tits, bitch."
There you
A
go.
lot of great one-liners.
Yeah.
A lot of gore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it, actually.
Yeah, okay. Well, those are
Yeah.
definitely things that tie it to this one. So I think that definitely works really well. Any others up there? Oh, we got it right back here.
Let me just.
There we go.
Okay, do this.
Well, you can actually never go wrong with a movie where the killer always carefully stages the bodies. So with that scene that they had, the first thing I thought of was "Happy Birthday to Me."
Yeah, that was one of mine too.
Oh, that was one of yours too.
Yeah. No, just the way they hold. Yeah, the way they the whole ending. Well, I wish that was the ending. I really thought that was going to be the climax, was that whole dinner scene. But yeah, just it's all led up to that moment. You know.
Yeah, not to mention they're both Canadian productions.
Yeah.
So they share that in common too.
Oh, yeah.
I wrote down 7 for similar reasons, obviously a little different, but the usage of heads in specific ways was either that or 8 heads in a duffel bag, and I chose 7. For that.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Another quick one was Saw. When I heard him talk through the voice, I thought of Saw, like the way Jigsaw spoke through the.
Oh yeah.
Like I thought that was cool. Like a lot of times, I don't really like to hear the killer of the voice of the killer, but the way he did it through that, I don't know what it was. Was it like a app or
Voice
something?
modulator.
Modulator.
Same thing
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Scream, they did that too.
Yeah.
So, but I thought that was a cool way of hearing him speak for the first time.
Yeah,
Ooh,
no,
just to
absolutely.
fuck with your list. Saw 4, because spoilers for people that don't watch one of the greatest franchises of all time. Hoffman, the cop, it turns out, is the bad guy.
Wow, there you
Also,
go.
like this movie, 4 stars.
One of the Screams had to have had the cop end up being.
The
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah, the
right?
Was
last
it the
one.
last one? Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Spoilers.
And also, like midway through, I was like, "Oh, I see what the fuck you're doing here."
Yeah.
No,
for
it
sure.
was.
Yeah.
And
I don't
also,
know, the actor from
4 stars.
Oh, another 4-star? I don't agree on that one. But also Pearl for another setting up the dead bodies around the table.
Ooh, yeah.
so there you
How
go.
about the Jimmy Fallon, Rachel Drak, "You Are" sketch from Saturday Night Live when we were all assholes from Massachusetts back in the day?
Oh shoot, what's the one with Ben Affleck
Yeah,
and Matt
Dunkin'
Damon?
Donuts, Dunkin'
Departed?
Goodwill Hunting.
No,
Dunkin'?
Goodwill Hunting. Goodwill Hunting.
Well, I recently saw Departed again, and I was like, I just can't stand that damn. Sorry if there's anyone from Massachusetts, but that accent. And so as soon as they fired off that in the beginning, I was like, I can't wait to see this people die.
As someone who went to school in Boston,
Sorry.
it's still pretty accurate.
Yeah, pretty accurate.
Yeah,
right?
I thought that was a great touch too. Like just how hard they went with the accents.
Yeah, well, that's Eli Roth's hometown, and the story about how this whole thing was created. Well, I guess him and his childhood friend were talking about doing this when they were like 13 years old.
Yeah.
And so it's happy for them to see it come to life.
Shout out to the gun salesman. That dude was hilarious. It was so funny.
Oh yeah, he was great.
Yeah, with the Black Sabbath line and all that. That was good stuff.
Yeah.
Any others? We got right up there.
In terms of, I guess, homages to the original Grindhouse crew, for Robert Rodriguez, you have the guitar case full of guns. For the salesman.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
From Desperado, or an El Mariachi.
Yeah.
And then for Quentin Tarantino, you have just a full screen's width of a nice lady's feet getting boosted with butter. So.
Huh, good one.
I wish I had something better than the poster to give him because those are really good.
That guy needs his own podcast. You have a podcast?
Got another one up here.
Yeah.
Everybody has a podcast.
Yeah, everybody
We
does.
got one right there. You got right hand.
Oh,
What do we got
Might
right
as
up
well
there?
stay
Yeah,
out
let's
there
just
for
do
a
it.
while.
Let's do it. Come on. Come here.
Well, I was going to say how I liked how Eli Roth cast the father, who was from the Elite Hunting Club in Hostel,
Right. Oh yeah, from Hostel.
yeah.
and basically it was an elite hunting kind of a situation, hunting all these, past people.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think he was the one who wanted the Americans in Hostel.
Yeah, in the
right?
Hostel
Yeah.
one. Yep.
Yeah.
That is a really God. You're all much better than me at this.
I think right here you had one, Will?
What?
Right behind you.
Oh my.
Yeah. There you go.
The social media movie, the
Unfriended,
Untraceable.
right?
Untraceable.
No, Untraceable
08.
was
With
not
like-
that.
It's the one with the kill with me or whatever, like the live website. You log in, and the more people log in, the faster he kills them or something.
Oh, it is Untraceable.
It is untraceable.
Yeah, I thought you were going with something else, but that's a really good pull.
Unfriended
There's
does
one
that
but
too.
As far as the horror kill angle of it.
Yeah, and that was actually
This
that was
motherfucker.
a great little reveal when it was just a phone pointed at a TV screen. That was a good bit. I
Was
like that.
everyone happy with the reveal of the killer? I thought, right?
That was maybe the least.
I think that if you have a killer reveal that's not super surprising, if the killer who it turns out to be is entertaining from that point forward and makes us like enjoy the fact that he's the killer, then it's successful. And so in my opinion, again, 4 stars, great movie.
All right,
How many
before we
stars
wrap
do you
it up,
give it,
do we
really?
have one more from the crowd? Oh, we got one more right back here, Michael. Get up there.
Tits. Okay.
You get a twofer here because obviously Eli loves the Scream franchise because if you remember Scream 3, Patrick Dempsey was a detective and they kept telegraphing in that he might be the guy in the Ghostface mask and turned out he wasn't. And the other thing was and this was awesome, the full length of it that they shoved the stepmother in because it took me back to when I first saw Rocky Horror Picture Show, and one of the coolest joys of seeing virgins go to see that with a crowd is that they are not expecting meatloaf towards the end of the movie when he pulls the tablecloth back and surprise, there he is.
Amazing.
For num-nums.
God damn.
Great stuff.
This is smoking now because that was so good.
Well, those were all great ones. Everybody who said some puzzle pieces for us, please, after the show, come up. We got that poster for you. But let's get into some closing thoughts here. Jason, any closing thoughts, anything you want to talk about here?
Yeah, I'm surprised no one said Anton Chekhov because we had the axe off the wall in Act 1, and then we got the reveal in Act 3. It's a fun movie. I don't think it's going to break any records. I don't think anything does anymore. I liked it. I think the kills were the most creative part of it. So that's what I enjoyed the most. Having a woman separated from her torso in a garbage dump was a nice new way to do it. So.
Good stuff for sure. What about you, Jimmy?
Yeah, like I said, I think this is going to be purchased. This will be Cinemixed, which I will make a video with the song. I'm not sure what song was in this. The only thing I heard was the I Know What Boys Like. I mean, that doesn't really make
You always
sense.
get some Sabbath in there, maybe.
But, yeah. But, like I said about the shirt, I mean, I think there'll be a part 2, and I think maybe in the hands of somebody else. But Eli, which most likely you probably will have someone produce it. I mean, he'll probably have someone else direct.
Sure.
But it ain't going away. I think we're going to keep seeing these.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Please. Oh, God.
I would
4
not be
stars.
Because it's 4 stars.
Do you think it'll be another Thanksgiving thing, or will he go the Gary Marshall route and be like, Secretary's Day, the movie?
Well, he was talking. Another thing I heard him say is he's talking about Easter, but I don't know. I think he was just joking. I think he was just joking.
Great idea. Why not?
You know, I would have liked, I told Dave this, I would have liked, as far as after the kills, I would have liked to see like a quick cut edit where they show the big red gory Thanksgiving with just a black screen with
With his voice.
Thanksgiving.
Because that was
and
his
then
voice.
it
too.
goes to the next whatever scene that's after the killing, and we're killing again.
Well, then we're seeing the trailer.
Yeah, that's like.
But no, that would have been a good.
It
end,
would have
though.
been great.
Grindhouse
Yeah.
nod.
That would have been a good end.
Those beats of the trailer were just.
Yeah, they were too good. That trailer was too good.
If nothing else, when the title came up at the end, just do it then.
Right,
But like
right.
at least
Something
that.
like that. Yeah, the end card. Thanksgiving. Something.
Yeah,
you
for
do a
sure.
fan edit. You could do a fan edit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh,
end
God.
the end was a little. So I don't mean that.
sorry.
Up there.
No,
The
you're-
end was
yeah,
a little strange in that it
just
was like
ended.
the dream, as opposed to like, hey, we didn't really wrap up these loose ends with some of the other characters, or
Rushed.
even just seeing like a Carver mask in the closet or something. I thought more than just a kind of post-traumatic dream would have been a better way to go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like
Him
when
screwing the turkey.
Jennifer Love Hewitt gets pulled under the bed at the end of one of the 2. I know you did last summer's.
That sounds great.
Yeah. You just want to pull Jennifer Love Hewitt under a bed, you monster, with great taste.
Michael, final thoughts.
Well, at the
How many stars do you give
Yeah,
this
so
good question.
at the beginning of this film, I have to do a diatribe. At the beginning of this film, there's that just amazing sequence with the great build-up to the stampede, and one of those great like Final Destination level setups for a movie. Perfect first sequence, and it ends with the sheriff bringing the gun up and firing the gun into the air, and for a split second, there's 1 or 2 frames of just red filter over that image, setting us up, of course, that he will be the killer. And what I'm trying to say is
Gotcha.
Eli Roth is a master of the language of film, and
Well, I didn't
4
expect
stars.
I did not expect
finally.
that. That's for sure. I wasn't looking for cinema in this. I was looking for a popcorn, fun, holiday horror movie, and I think he delivered on that.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. And the only other thing I would say, like, I kind of brought it up when I was talking about South Park, but like that whole opening sequence with the Black Friday sequence, it was a really fun, like, just vision of awful people, which I always love seeing in movies. I would have liked more of that.
I think, I was thinking of movies like Wall Street and stuff like that, where, greed is good and corporate is the most important thing. And
Yeah.
How you can just screw over anyone to get what you want. Like the dude's dying and they steal the waffle iron from him, right? Like, so any of those, like, kind of rah-rah American capitalism is the, most important thing, I think, fit what you're talking about there.
Absolutely. Well, I think that does it for Thanksgiving. Jason, where can people find you?
Yeah, we do Awesome Movie Year. It's a cool podcast if you like movies and podcasts. Each season we break down why a different year was an awesome movie year. Each episode is a different movie from that year, so you're always going to get biggest hit, biggest flop, cult classic, best picture. It's a pretty cool thing. It's me, Josh Bell, the film critic, and Dave. And then all over the socials, Jason Harris Comedy or Jay Harris Comedy. I'm on Letterboxd. I would love to follow you and have you follow me. Go for Jason on Letterboxd. That's kind of the only social I really care about right now.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Jimmy, how about you?
Oh, you could find me on Instagram at Spacetunes. That's SPACETOONZ. Always have to say that because no one else. Spacetunes. And I'm also on Letterboxd under Spacetunes. And you can find me. I DJ every Thursday over at the Nightmare Cafe here locally in Las Vegas. It's the horror-themed restaurant right next to the horror toy store, the famous Nightmare Toys now. So I DJ there. We do Nightmare Trivia and Nightmare Bingo. So what I do is I do cinemixes. Like I said, I'm a DJ where I basically mash up songs and films. So you can like see the music video of 45 Grave to Do You Want to Party to Return to Living Dead, and it's a fun time every Thursday. You can catch me there.
Absolutely. Michael, how many stars again?
4 stars.
There you go.
I really wish I could come see you. I always have to go to my movie nights.
This is great podcast content too.
Yeah.
Thursdays is a hot night, man.
Thursdays
Everyone's
is,
busy.
yeah. We usually do these on Thursdays, but I wanted to.
I was so happy that you didn't do it on the Thursday.
Yeah.
So I would be a bad friend. This is great podcasting. You can find my movies information at manateepartyfilms.com. That's Manatee Party, like a party manatees. And I'm on YouTube as Michael Keene. It's in the podcast description how to spell it, so just use that. I'm the one that's not the faceless guitarist.
You might as well promote your movie that has a mannequin head in it.
Oh, right. And
Yeah.
I made a movie called The Head back in 2019. It was shot on consumer-grade VHS tape. Bad idea. Don't do that. And you can find that on Tubi, one of the greatest anythings ever, including my own parents. One of the greatest things, period.
All hail
Tubi.
Yes, absolutely. Right on. Well, everybody that is here in the audience, thank you so much for sticking around and listening to us talk about the movie. Make sure you're subscribed to Piecing It Together wherever you listen to podcasts. And thank you so much.
Hi, this is Wax Trax Records here on 2909 South Decatur. We buy all your old 45s, your old albums, any type of music memorabilia. Also, we sell music memorabilia, albums, CDs, and a lot. Come on down to Wax Trax, 2909 South Decatur, or give me a call at 702-362-4300. Thank you very much.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed that conversation about Thanksgiving. Thanks to my guests for joining me on that one. Thanks to everyone who came out for a really fun night, and thanks again to Art House Theaters for having us. It was a really fun one. So, yeah, hopefully we'll be doing it again soon. I'll definitely, of course, be letting you know. So keep an eye on the feed, keep an eye on our socials. You can follow us on social media at Piecing Pod and join our Facebook group, Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces, where we continue the conversation about all the movies we talk about here on the show. Also, we do have a Patreon, the Produced by David Rosen Patreon, where I post bonus and advanced content from Piecing It Together, from Awesome Movie Year, and from my music career. Lots of great stuff over there. It is patreon.com/bydavidrosen. If you want to support the show in that way, it is appreciated, and you get early access to lots of stuff. And I'm sure there will be a lot more bonus exclusives, all kinds of things in the new year. I've got a lot of music things planned for it too. So keep an eye out on there. But yeah, patreon.com/bydavidrosen. Check it out. So I always close these with a piece of music. And I was trying to think what would be a good fit for this. I know I've played the song Cut Open from my album An Unseen Sky many times before, but we're talking about carving things, cutting things open. Yeah, it fits kind of. So let's play Cut Open. That's a good one. We'll close out with this, and we will be back with more Piecing It Together real soon.
An All Points West production, produced by David Rosen in Las Vegas.